Think we're live? Chat. Are we live? YouTube, please work. Um, yes, we are live. What is up, people of the internet? It is me, Real American, back in with a new stream. And that is right, we are live on this beautiful February 17th, 2026. I hope everyone's having a beautiful day. I'm having a great day myself. We have a lot to talk about today. We got to talk about, well, actually, it's really going to be focused on one subject. You can probably tell from the title of the stream. We got to talk about the insanity related to the Epstein and Candace Owens discourse, because my goodness, I thought we hit rock bottom with Candace Owens a couple months ago, and the whole discourse as a whole, I thought we hit rock bottom. You can't go any lower, but no, somehow we are reaching levels of insanity that I didn't think was even possible. Now, again, I want to be clear about one thing. That you have a right to question stuff. And I agree. There should be further investigations into some of the Epstein stuff. I do agree. They've so far kind of botched the Charlie Kirk stuff. I get that. But at the same time, we're reaching levels of hysteria, nonsense, that's actually hurting the actual investigations, stuff that people are actually trying to look at. It is insane what's going on here. We got to talk about this because it is getting absurd. We got to talk about what's being said. The whole Don Huffines thing. I just can't get over this. This is what happens when you just allow schizophrenic discourse to go on. Now, before we get into today's stream, excuse me, I had to cough for a second. I hope you guys do enjoy these type of streams. If you do, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends. That's a big one. Share with your friends, share with your family members, share on Twitter, wherever. Get people watching the streams, make them subscribe also. And of course, join the channel today. These are all great ways to support the daily content. And in fact, you could support the channel even further by sending super chats. That is the best way to support the channel. If you guys, again, I'll read through as much chat as possible, but usually super chats are the best way to get your questions answered. So yeah, send super chats. I'll read through most of the chat, but super chat's best way to get them answered. We got a super chat, a Glitch Evie for 2. We'll be voting this afternoon. W's in chat for Glitch Evie. Yeah, if you live in Texas, I believe early voting has begun. I believe so. So if you live in Texas, get out and vote. And in fact, I'm going to pull up the graphic from America First Insight because they have a phenomenal graphic that I think everyone should look at. Let's see. Where do they post it? America First Insight. Found it. Okay, perfect. So, where did it go? There it is. So if you live in Texas, this is kind of the voter guide in the state of Texas. Okay. Yep. Early voting just started today. Right here. Early voting has started and it go through today to February 27th. This is the official America First Insight voter guide. If you live in one of these areas, vote for these candidates right here. It's on Twitter right now. You can look it up. I retweeted it. Look it up right now. And we got some big names here like Ken Paxton, Aaron Reitz, Don Huffines, Beau French, Steve Toth, Lance Gooden, Jessica Steinman, Ezekiel Enriquez, Brandon Herrera, Brandon Gill. It goes on. All right. Briscoe Kane, Tom Sell, etc. And we got a couple of state legislative seats as well. But really, this is the official endorsement guide. Live in Texas, you live in any of these seats, get out and vote. And even if you don't live in a competitive seat, vote for the statewide races, for attorney general, for railroad commissioner. It's a lot going on. And yes, this is primary season. This is officially the beginning of primary season. That's kind of crazy to say. We are actually in officially the 2026 primary season has technically begun. Election day is March 3rd. So yeah, Tristan for 2. Happy primary season, everyone. Yeah, it's a beginning. We waited a long time for this. We're finally here again. K-Cub for 5. Candace Owens is Mr. Krabs meme in front of the grave saying, am I really going to defile the grave for money? Of course I am. Hashtag fire Doc Rivers. I agree with that last part. We clearly are better without Doc Rivers for the Bucks. Seriously, we killed the Thunder. It was nuts. Yeah, Jesse Jackson died. Yeah. Listen, I don't think most of us here agree with Jesse Jackson and everything, but I don't think Jackson was a bad guy. I think he had good intentions. It sucks he died Rest in peace to Jesse Jackson. My condolences out to his family. Again, you may not agree with him on everything political, but it seems like he was a legitimately good person or trying to be. So, yeah, he died today. Even Trump put out a statement. So, yeah. But yeah, so official endorsement guide for America First Insight in Texas. A lot of competitive seats. Like I said a couple days ago, if you live in Texas, this is a potentially a once in a generational opportunity to completely upend the state of Texas in a good way. And because you're talking about you can go from majority shit Republicans to majority good ones in the Congress. That's how important this is. People like Briscoe Kane, for example, is phenomenal. Brandon Herrera, everybody knows that. Steinman's pretty solid. Steve Toth would be amazing over Crenshaw. This is a historical primary if people get out and vote. So again, if you know family members that live in Texas, share them this guide. This is in a nutshell, the big ones. All right. K-Cup for 5. Rip Jesse Jackson. Also, fun fact, he was involved in the controversial firing of Ray Rhodes, Green Bay's only black coach in its history. Oh, he was involved with that? I did not know that, actually. Where's Eric Flores? I think we endorsed Josh Cortez, I think so. Yeah. Because isn't Flores in Texas 35th, right? Yeah, he is. So America First Insight went with Cortez. So Garrett has joined the channel. Thank you so much, good sir. Thank you for joining the channel. But okay, where are we at? All right. Object Clay's cater for 5. Anyone can question anything as long as it's not Owens. Just like the Irish and Blazing Saddles. Sorry, not sorry. Chances Virginia passes the referendum. The first thing, I don't really get the reference, but as for the Virginia referendum, I think it does pass right now, but I think it's a lot closer than people think it's going to be. We'll see. Texas 34. Is it 34th? I don't know for sure. I don't know for sure if it's the 34th or 35th. I don't know. I'll talk to Mark later about it. Cortez in the 35th. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I'll talk to Mark about it. We'll see. Okay. So enough of that. I think it's time we talk about the elephant in the room. The point of the stream today was to talk about Candace Owens and the Epstein files. Now, I want to give a bit of context because, again, you have a right to question stuff. You have a right to look in the files, and you can come to the conclusion that, hey, there should be further investigations. I agree, 100%. There are some emails clear as day that indicate, okay, some of these victims, as an example, they're full of shit. Not all of them, of course, but some of these victims running around, they were involved a lot more than they said they were. They used coded language. They clearly were in his inner circle. They knew more than they let on. I agree. Stuff like that should be investigated. Reid Hoffman, Wexner, the Obama attorney. Like, these people should be investigated. Pritzker, like, all these people, I agree. And even Steve Bannon, Steve Bannon, he did some very sketchy things. I don't think he did anything illegal, but the way he did it with Epstein and did an interview and stuff, that was kind of a bad idea, I think. But again, we'll see. Lutnick, I think, should resign. I don't think he did anything illegal like Bannon, but I think he lied. He clearly lied. He said everybody, oh, I met him once. He was a creep and I ran away. That's a lie. He clearly went to the island. Not that he did anything illegal, but yeah, he lied about it. K-Cup for 2. Also, happy Fat Tuesday. Enjoyed today before the fast. Yeah, let begins tomorrow. Yep. All right. So, but enough of that. Like, again, you have the right to question stuff. And I think what's going on right now, why a lot of people are believing a lot of the conspiracy stuff, is because a lot of the conspiracy stuff in the last couple of years have been correct. Like, a lot of the stuff like Alex Jones, for example, a lot of stuff he said was correct. 30 years ago, he was saying stuff that turns out was 100% true. But the difference is, even back then, there was evidence to suggest what he was saying was true. It just now it came to light with social media that, oh, everything he said was pretty accurate. Not everything's perfect, but because he said some stuff that was wrong, of course. But a lot of stuff he said, it was actually based on something, based on actual reports, stuff that's real. But the thing with Candace Owens and the other people, they're just lying about stuff. They're just saying, I had a dream last night, and Charlie Kirk came to me in a dream, and freaking the bee death cult, the bee killers or whatever they're called, they were part of the Egyptian cult. It's nuts. That's where we have to draw a distinction. Alex Jones, he said some stuff that was incorrect, but the majority of stuff he said was true, but because it was based on reality, stuff that we knew or that was actually being reported even back then. Yeah, the third eye. A lot of stuff he said was accurate because it was based on reality, based on what actual things you can look at. Right now, these people are basing stuff off of nonsense, pure nonsense, pure hysteria. It's a joke. The third eye. I can't get over that. Yeah, the third eye. Object Clay's character for 2. Reference was a deal made to fight the bad guys. I don't know. Honestly, don't get the reference. I'll look into it. But yeah, it's just crazy, some of the stuff that's being said. And like, really what kind of made me want to do this stream was this right here. This right here made me want to stream about this. Let me pull this up. Now, when I first saw this, I thought this is fake. This is a real tweet by somebody, 150,000 views, 1.7 thousand likes. Everybody's talking about it. It's gone viral. And it's this tweet right here. I'm sorry, but this is not normal behavior from an adult. Erica Kirk was clearly grooming underage girls, in my opinion. That's what this account said. And again, one of these other slop accounts that are pushing bullshit, and they're saying, yeah, she was grooming girls and stuff. This is real. This is what people believe now because this one image. For starters, you can clearly tell they cut this image out from a post. Look at it. I mean, let me just pull this up. Look at this. They clearly cut this out from something. Okay. Yeah, right here. This is real. They clearly cut it out. They spliced it out from something, and they're making it sound like she. And by the way, why did they censor her name? That's weird. Like, I have no clue where this is from, but they censor the name. They cut it out. All this crap. Well, it turns out that the other person in the picture was Erica Kirk's niece. Yeah. This is a tweet from Real Text and Politics, and people have confirmed that this is her niece. This right here is the issue with our discourse. You rightfully bring this up, and you're the wrong one. That is the most absurd thing. You could just use basic information, just the bare minimum. It's based on reality. It's based on just what's going on. And you're actually the one covering it up. Yeah. So you're telling me, I can't get over this. This discourse surrounding Erica Kirk and Charlie Kirk has gone off the rails. It was already bad enough when they were saying, oh, the Egyptian plane took off and followed Kirk around for 20 years now. He had a third eye and shit. That was already bad enough. But now they're all but saying Erica Kirk did it because of this. And they're claiming she groomed people. It just really, like, what are we doing here? K-Cub for 2. Why do you have to make it a transparent PNG? Because they want to make it look like, oh, guys, I had to censor this out because it's so horrific. It just, wow. How can anyone defend this? How? You cannot, in a sane society, say this is normal. And it's gotten worse. This is like the tip of the iceberg. There's so much shit going around how the Egyptians, they had a plane that followed Kirk around. There's a third plane. They had a different shooter. In fact, now the big thing is they're convincing Kirk faked his death. They're convinced that Charlie Kirk faked his death for God knows what reason. Something about a freaking third eye and the X-Men or something. Yeah, it's like the X-Men, the school or whatever. It's insane. I am stunned that people are falling for it. That's the worst part. People are actually falling for this shit. People are falling for this. President Gilbert Getty up for 5. What would be a good person to vote for in Texas 36? I'm looking at America First Insight and saw my congressman is at C-. I honestly haven't looked into it. I don't know. I mean, some of those people, they're not, I mean, if they're C-, that means they're not good. They're not like F tier, so. I mean, there's other tweets as well. I gotta pull this up because it is just infuriating that this is real. There's so much shit going around. Gotta find it. Where are we at? Where is it? Yeah, here's the tweet to confirm it. Jacob Martin for 5. There has been a major doomer psyop to destroy this movement and to destroy all credibility of independent media that's built up for 10 years. Yeah, and we'll get to that. Yeah, right here. This tweet right here proves it. This is a post from, where is it? Right here. So, this is a tweet that everybody should look at. This is a good example of what we're saying. The only way bad faith Candace Owens cultists can smear Erica Kirk is lying. Bad faith of Griffith's post photo of Erica Kirk kissing cheek of a minor. I'm sorry, but this is not normal behavior, blah, blah, blah. The context behind it is that was her niece. And this right here is the original image. Again, look at this shit. Look at this. Well, let me pull up let me zoom in on this. No, we don't have to. There we go. Look at this, guys. You notice they splice it up on purpose. I'm actually zooming because you can see something. They splice it up because this is an Instagram post from 9 years ago. And this is at a high school. And I don't know for sure. It might be a graduation thing. I don't know. Who freaking knows? Whatever. They're trying to make it sound like, oh, Erica Kirk this is a minor that's like 13 years old. When in reality, it was her niece that probably graduated from whatever. Who cares? Wait, what's like? This is the original post right here. I'm stunned. I am just, and the worst part is you bring this up, nobody cares. They just move on to the next recycled bullshit. They did the same to the hologram stuff. It was all hologram, everybody. There was a secret tunnel below Kirk, and he got shot there. There's a 13th gunman. It's crazy. And then when that's proven to be bullshit, they don't retract their statements. They just move on to the next horseshit story. This is what they do every single time. And I'm getting sick of it. I'm getting so sick and tired of this. You don't have to like Erica Kirk. Listen, I think she's grieving. That's why I think she's been acting weird. The way she's grieving, I don't know. Again, it's weird. I'm not denying that. Some of the stuff she's done, but she's grieving. She's coping with the fact that her husband's dead. And everybody's looking into it and they're like making a grand conspiracy out of it. And you can keep going. It just gets worse by the second. K-Cub for 5. This disgusts me. The moment Kirk died, Erica never even got 5 minutes of grief before people made up theories to start attacking her. Yeah. They waited 5 minutes. They waited not even 5 minutes. It's just nuts. I mean, it just immediately when he died, there was a grand conspiracy out. I mean, another post right here. People are making a big deal about this. This is the post that went viral again. Again, everybody saw this by now. But everyone's making a big stink because Kirk had this wedding photo or whatever on the bottom one. This is when he was still alive, obviously. And the top thing is she replaced it with whatever. Who freaking knows? A lot of people making it sound like it was a God knows what. But There's another thing. They're making it sound like, oh, she's forgetting Kirk's was a person. She's covering it up. It's like, what are we doing here? All because she moved the photo, which I think her explanation was she moved it to the desk so their daughter or whatever can look at it easier. I don't know for sure. I don't know the full explanation, but just who like everything the damn conspiracy with these people. That's why I'm getting sick of this. Everything the damn conspiracy. Oh, they moved the photo. This is proof that's all over. She moved it to the desk so their daughter can look at it easier or something. I don't know. I mean, like, I can keep going on about this, but guys, this discourse has to stop. People have to do their own research. Again, question everything. I'm not like question a lot of stuff. I'm not denying like that's a good idea. Like, yeah, there's some questions about Kirk's death. Who was involved with Robeson? Who was in or Robinson or whatever his name was? Whatever the frick his name is. I forgot his name. That's how insane this is. I forgot the guy's name because everybody's focused on Erica Kirk, focused on the Egyptians, focused on the bee killer, the beekeepers, the death cult that had Mormons in it. They're focused on that, not focused on the fact that there are some very sketchy elements here, not the real sketchy stuff. I'm just getting so sick of this. But every day you look at the feed, it's the same thing over and over and over again. Aaron Ratliff for 2. What if Candace lies get Robinson acquitted? That's a concern. All you need is one schizophrenic in the jury, and Tyler Robinson's acquitted. I mean, like, that's the issue, guys. That's why I'm getting really pissed off now. Because this gone on for too long. I'm at a loss for words. At what we're even doing here. What's the fucking point? What's the point about, oh, the photo moved? Or the photo moved to a different part of the desk. Okay, that proves what exactly? That proves absolutely nothing. Mistrial, yeah. I'm getting concerned about that. There might be a mistrial. Oh my gosh. And more of this crap. Like, look at this shit from Candace Owens. What is this Jillian story? Who the hell's Jillian? I forwarded the information to Jillian and she confirmed it as the true. So to recap, after striking up a bizarre friendship with a 15-year-old girl who lives in a trailer park without a father, a then 25-year-old Erica proceeds to love bomb Jillian by telling her how beautiful she is. Oh my gosh. How many likes does this have? Already 5,000 likes. 150,000 views. Oh, Jesus. More anonymous shit. More sketchy anonymous bullshit. I never know what this story's about. Who the fuck is Jillian? Who? She's trying to allege. Wait, hold up. She then asked Jillian for her address to send her chocolate-covered strawberries. Oh my god. I am not. Oh yeah, look at this. I am not accusing Erica of committing any crime, but I'm saying that questions need to be asked because it is my strong opinion that it is utterly impossible that Erica continues to have proximity to people, places, and organizations accused of child sex trafficking. Wow. We're to this point now, really? That's why they're posting fake images? Oh, Jesus. I didn't know why. Now I know why. Some random person, I have no clue who this is, at all. Jesus. What? I don't want to read what this says, but I think I have to. I have an interesting connection for you regarding Erica, whatever, in Auburn Hills, Michigan, as a Metro Detroit native, current resident of Bloomfield Hills. It is widely known that the Great Lakes Crossing outlet, blah blah blah, is the #1 sex trafficking location in the state of Michigan due to its confusing layout. whatever. Oh my gosh, what is this? Oh, geez. I work down the road, and my patients and I know never to go down there alone as a woman or at night, and to keep your children close at all times. I myself had a recent experience last month of an older man standing next to a woman's restroom in a Bass Pro Shop, seemingly waiting for someone, yet no one came out of the bathroom, and he did not move. Oh my gosh. So this is like some random ass anonymous source. In addition, I did some search at Jill Flaccone's current and previous addresses to see if her position in life made her a vulnerable target for Erica. Sure enough, she attached for evidence. I am not trying to shame the girl, blah, blah, blah. Oh, Jesus. So it's an anonymous person claiming they have secret information about this weird ass. Oh, Jesus. Make it stop. Yeah, I'm done. I am so freaking done with this shit. We went from the lasers, the freaking Egyptian plane, the third eye, the X-Men school. We went from that and the electricity and stuff. We went from that to, oh yeah, she's involved with this trafficking operation because an anonymous source said something about an anonymous source telling her stuff. It just, and how many people are looking at this now and believing it? Yeah, 8,000, 6,000 likes already. It just never ends. According to Google, yeah, that's the thing. It's according to Google. Oh my gosh. Another tweet from yesterday. 3 million views, 30,000 likes. The worst part is that it wasn't her friend recording it. It was the head of the fundraiser at Turning Point USA. Erica did not bring a single person, personal friend or family member in Utah with her. There is no amount of propaganda that will ever make that normal. Mind you, the vice president offered to fly people aboard Air Force Two. Charlie's entire family flew in. Erica chose to be comforted by Stacy. Oh, Jesus. It just gets worse. It just keeps getting worse by the minute. It just every minute. Oh, guys, why did she bring her family along? Oh, geez, what? The recording is actually fake. I am just, wow. We have officially reached rock bottom of the Kirk stuff. Why did she bring anyone along? I wonder why. What does this prove? I know she's grieving or something. I don't know. I am just, wow. There is no way we can reach any lower than this. We have reached rock bottom 20 times over already. Marcus Holiday for 2. At what point do we just ignore these losers? It's time. Garrett for 5. Why can't these influencers focus on real issues that get voters out? Unreal that we're in primary season to talk about this slop. Yeah? Listen, I just have to bring this up. I know I shouldn't bring this up, but like, it needs to be said that people need to just stop listening to Candace Owens. We're getting to a point now where everything's a conspiracy. Everything Kirk did was all orchestrated. Every step she took was somehow a secret fundraising ploy. Jesus. Yeah, I'm hoping Erica Kirk sues these people. At some point, you got to sue them into oblivion. You just can't keep this going. Where it's an endless cycle where it's just constant bullshit. It can't get any worse, right? Now that I said that, how can it get worse? How can it possibly get worse than this? Alleged Erica Kirk was involved in child trafficking or whatever. That is just shitty. That is, I don't like the other stuff was actually kind of funny, like the Egyptian plane and stuff. That was hilarious because it was so insane. Now it's okay. This is just actually just horrific. To even suggest this crap. K-Cup for 2. They're trying to get her put in jail, aren't they? Yeah. They want Erica Kirk in prison for what? Oh, jeez. And the worst part is millions of people still look at this shit. It's slop. And people still talk about, oh, guys, the third Egyptian plane took off. Even though the information they were given is horse shit, it's all real because Candace Owens said so. Yikes. Yikes, yikes, yikes. Is jealousy? Yeah. Very jealous. But now it's just getting bad. Like, listen, the other stuff was hilarious. It was so insane. But now you can't allege that stuff. Just can't allege it. It's bad. The third eye conspiracy made me laugh hysterically. Yeah, I mean, that's funny. That is hilarious. But no, it just, we had to go off the rails. I mean, at this point, they're starting to say he's actually alive now, but like, seriously, when do they suggest that he's actually like, when do they say Erica Kirk's Charlie Kirk? When do they say that? At some point, it's going to happen. I hope not, but they're already saying that Charlie Kirk's not dead. He's actually still alive somehow. All right. Do not give him any ideas. I don't know how it can get any worse. Can anyone suggest any idea how this could get worse? Because they're all but saying like Erica Kirk was involved. That we have reached that point basically. All but a name. They're strongly suggesting it. So yeah, it's bad. Yeah, when Alex Jones is saying you're full of shit. Yeah. And Alex Jones, again, some of the stuff he says is bullshit, of course, like it's not true. But a lot of stuff he says is based on some kind of sense of reality. Even he knows this is insane. Eric for 5. Did Candace and Massey say anything about the Minnesota fraud when the story broke? That to me is very telling, and they claim the America First. Yeah, they said nothing. In fact, some of their sycophants, they claimed that was a distraction. I'm not joking. I gotta find the tweets. I'm not gonna be able to find it now. But they claimed that it was actually a distraction from Charlie Kirk. I'm not even kidding. Same thing with it's a distraction for Epstein. American Order for 2. Rap just got here. What the F did Candace Owens do now? I would recommend after the stream going back and watching it. She's alleging that Erica Kirk is involved with trafficking. And also they're claiming that being close to a niece or whatever is like grooming or something. It's just nuts. It's freaking insane. But yeah, that's the first half of this is how insane this is. We're barely even talking about anything else except one thing. This Kirk stuff. Because, well, we got to talk about the other big story. The proof that this whole discourse surrounding Epstein is the most batshit crazy, schizophrenic hysteria we've ever seen. Now, that does not mean that there aren't questions. There are. There are valid questions that the DOJ should shut up and investigate. Just investigate some of this stuff. But my goodness. I thought we were finally starting to get past some of the nonsense hysteria and talking about some of the coded words in the emails, talking about some of the weird stuff that are in the emails. But nope. We got to instead have a civil war between the schizophrenics on Twitter. For those that don't know, the next big allegation was that Don Huffines, who, by the way, for those that don't know, he's a patriot from Texas. He is a great guy. Every Texas person in the chat and in the Discord stuff, they support Huffines. He's a great guy. Would have been a fantastic governor. Sadly, that didn't happen. But the point is, he is a actually good guy. He's an America First guy. He's great. Well, they're now alleging, the schizophrenics are now alleging that Don Huffines was involved in the Epstein stuff because he, in a public auction, bought the stupid ranch in New Mexico. I'm not even joking. Look at this. There's a civil war between the schizophrenics over Don Huffines because Thomas Massey unfollowed this random person because the schizophrenic was talking about the ranch, and basically what they're alleging is Don Huffines, who ran for governor in 2022, who, by the way, for once, Thomas Massey's not on the wrong here. He actually supports Huffines, or he did. He's a great, again, Huffines' a great guy. Well, the ranch was allegedly where Epstein did some stuff. And the schizophrenics are convinced that this secret ranch is where they're doing experiments. That's where all the abuse occurred, the trafficking. Funny how they went from this island, which we know there's some weird stuff on the island, everybody knows this, to some random ranch that might, that might have some sketchy stuff to it. There are some emails to suggest it, but now it went from the island, everybody's talking about that, to this mysterious ranch in New Mexico. Because, again, there's another schizophrenic email floating around where somebody claimed, yeah, there are bodies buried on the property who died due to extreme abuse inflicted on them. But for some reason, it was never raided by the FBI after Epstein's arrest. For years prior to the arrest, Epstein was boasting to his top scientists that this ranch was being used as a factory for whatever. The current owner, who purchased the property from some reason, owns Hess, Huffines Enterprise Science and Technology. Hess is an investor in Secretome, or whatever it's called, a biotech company that uses cardiac cells from the hearts of babies under 30 years old, or 30 days old. Interesting. Basically, they're alleging that Don Huffines, for the mere fact that his company invests in a random biotech company that does some weird stuff or whatever, and that he bought it in an auction, is somehow proof that there's a giant lab underneath the ranch and that Don Huffines covered it up. I am not even joking. And apparently the schizophrenic, he messaged Massey, and apparently this is what was said. My jaw hit the floor. The response I got from Massey when I showed him who owned the ranch made my heart sink to my stomach. He continued, because I am investigating this ranch, and Thomas Massey doesn't even want to be associated with me. He fucking unfollowed me for covering this story. Yeah, so Thomas Massey, of all people, realized, oh, we have a big problem here. But it's too late now. Now everybody's convinced that Don Huffines buried or have buried bodies in this ranch. He's invested in a biotech firm. It just never ends, does it? Now, why would someone who is on a very public crusade to get the Epstein files release unfollow journalists for investigating the ranch and its new owner? Because it's ridiculous. This was a public auction. Nobody cared for years. And Don Huffines so happened to get it, and guess what? The proceeds went to victims of Epstein. And these pieces of shit are running around and saying, Don Huffines is involved, and now it's looking like Thomas Massey is involved. If we reach the point of Thomas Massey secretly being involved in a grand cover-up, I will laugh hysterically. But that's Massey's fault. He allowed these schizophrenics to push bullshit. Yeah, right here. If Massey had nothing to hide, he would have welcomed the information, perhaps put in touch with Huffines, give his side of the story. Instead, he shut it down by telling Diligent that he's barking up the wrong tree. For someone that says he wants everything out there about Epstein, you'd think he'd want to bark up every single tree for answers. But guess what? Someone gives tens of thousands of dollars to his best friend. That someone becomes off limits. Yeah. Now we're getting we are reaching the bottom of the barrel. And they're using this as proof because now Don Huffines is worse than Epstein. I'm not kidding. Because he bought a ranch. And they're using proof of him sending money to Rand Paul and Thomas Massie as proof that there is a giant cover up at this ranch. That even Thomas Massie's like saying stupid. When Thomas Massie, of all people, saying, this is freaking ridiculous. It's a ranch. It's nothing. And Don Huffines is working with law enforcement right now as we speak, and he did before they bought the ranch, for crying out loud. When even Thomas Massie's saying this is ridiculous, now they're turning on him. The schizophrenics are now fighting each other. K-Cup for 2. Massey, Owens, and Bonnie are going to be why we lose 26, maybe. American Nerd for 6. Random person mentioned the Epstein files for whatever reason, but did nothing illegal. Random schizophrenics online, guilty. Yeah. So, by the way, they're pushing this shit right before the primary. Funny how that works, by the way. Don Huffines, a true America First patriot, somebody that everybody should vote for in Texas, the millisecond he's about to win, that's when they drop this information, this alleged bullshit. It's a scam. How could people not realize this? It's bullshit. Investigate the ranch. Sure, I agree. If the FBI did not actually raid the place, that's awful. But investigate it, whatever. But now, we are actually reaching a point that they're now going after Thomas Massie. The schizophrenics are fighting each other. What is this discourse? What is this? Ben Cynics for 5. How long until Candace and her followers flee and establish Owenstown? Oh, gosh. No. Let's not think like that. But yeah. So there's a non-zero chance the schizophrenics go after Massie. Please. Thomas Massie deserves this, by the way. It's his fault if this hysteria got so bad. Part of it is Trump. He should have released the files right away. We all know that. But he was the one to push his bullshit. Waited like 3 days before primary season, so this is in the news during the whole primary election. Yeah, you're telling me nobody knew about this for 5 years? He bought the ranch in like 2023 or whatever, and all the proceeds went to victims or whatever it was. You're telling me that nobody cared until now? And I find it funny, by the way. These people are making it sound like we knew about this for years. Oh, they've been covering this up for years. We knew about this. Now it's time to investigate. Nobody gave a shit about the ranch until 5 minutes ago. It was always about the island. You know what I think's going on? They're realizing there's nothing there. There is nothing that can, again, Epstein did awful stuff. Maxwell did awful stuff. People that did awful stuff go to prison. I agree. There should be more investigations. But guess what? This wide-ranging conspiracy theory, there's nothing here. This grand conspiracy. And now they're moving the goalposts. Now they're saying, oh, actually, now we got to focus on this ranch because somebody bought it. It's insane. We have reached I would hope this is rock bottom, but I have a weird feeling it's going to get worse. And this is a problem. Just a couple months ago, the discourse was not this crazy. Now, it has become a witch hunt. It's become such an insane witch hunt that even Thomas Massie isn't safe from this. Even Thomas Massie is being targeted by the schizophrenics. Running around and claiming, oh, Thomas Massie's covering for Don Huffines. Or maybe the simple solution is there's nothing here. He didn't do anything. He did nothing. What is going on here? Rowdy for 3. Will Candace be Robinson's expert witness? Yes. Yeah, he will. Or she will be the expert witness to prove that Candace Owens, Robinson's innocent, which is going to be scummy. It's going to happen. I have a weird feeling about that case. It's going to get ugly, I think. I hope not. Warning you, though, it's going to get bad. This is why you should have never, like, this hysteria should have been put to an end right away. And I'm still upset at Trump for not doing enough. I agree with that. Should have done more. All right. Opposition research about the drop of Gonzalez. Oh, really? Really? Hold up. Tony Gonzalez. People were saying Tony Gonzalez's research about the drop. We'll see. Hopefully. I'm not seeing anything right now, but it might drop soon. If it does happen, it's gonna be it's over for Gonzalez at that point. It would be over. But yeah, in general, guys, listen, I want people to like look for the truth on everything. Like the Epstein stuff. Look in the files, do your own research. I want that. I want people to do their own research and figure out what's going on here. I 100% agree. 100% agree that there needs to be investigations. But at the same time, ask yourselves this. If there is such solid evidence of this grand conspiracy crap, so this nonsense, why hasn't a single person agreed to debate Michael Tracy on this? I'm not agreeing with everything Michael Tracy is saying, but he has brought up valid points that not a single person's debunked. All they say is he's a PDF protector. Michael Tracy, nobody's debated him once on this. And others. Everybody's saying like, oh, you're a PDF protector. Why would you debate the guy that's like providing very strong evidence to suggest that no, a lot of this stuff is nonsense? Let me pull up the tweet. Let me pull up Michael Tracy's tweet. If I can find it. But seriously, can anybody like debunk anything he said? I can't find it. Oh well. Yeah, nobody has debated him on this. Instead, they insult him and say he's a PDF protector, even though they cannot debunk a single thing he said. What they do is they attack you and they move on to the next point. So even if you're right, you're wrong. And they completely ignore the prior talking points. Remember the anonymous tips that everybody made a big deal about? Notice how those mostly disappeared. Funny how that works. Funny how that works. Vote Brandon Herrera for House. Yes, I agree. Vote for Herrera. Excuse me. Vote for him. Yeah, I mean, like, if this is such ironclad evidence, why are these people scared to debate this stuff? Why? And again, I'm not agreeing with Michael Tracy and everything. I think I think he's not, you know, I think he's wrong at some stuff, but he's brought up really good points. Brought up really good points about, hey, some of this evidence floating around is bullshit. It's not based on anything. All right. But yeah, in a nutshell, guys, just do your own research. This discourse has to be dealt with. And listen, I think the only way for the insanity to end is if Thomas Massie loses. I have this weird feeling if Massie loses, I don't want to know how people are going to respond. Because they have convinced themselves he's going to win. It's a foregone conclusion. It's a foregone conclusion. He's going to win a landslide. If he loses, I don't want to be on Twitter for the next 3 months. Honestly. It's going to get ugly, I think. I think it's going to get really bad. But I don't know. Maybe him losing would be a wake-up call for everybody. Because the reason they're pushing this horse shit is because they think they have the influence. They think like 90% of people agree with everything they're saying. If Thomas Massie gets crushed in his own district, yeah, I don't think so. American Nerd for 10. People like Owens, Massie, and Barris went to want to believe that they're like people in movies who look and sound crazy at first, then proven right. Except that this is reality and that they're just stupid and crazy. Yeah, that's true. They really think that everything they're saying is real when it's not. I mean, I gotta remember Bears tweet. Just every time, at this point, anytime Bears tweets something, we have to debunk it. And just it's every tweet's is horseshit, but tens of thousands of people they view it and they like it and they think it's real. Like right here, Barris is now claiming. Where is it at? So a little bit of context I should add. Where is it at? Where is it at? Right here. So I basically made it. I basically said that. Okay, found it. So there's this poll that came out from TIPP. Again, a fairly solid pollster. We talked about this yesterday, and basically what it came out with was something that kind of debunked a lot of stuff that's being said. Where is it at? Shit, I gotta find it. So basically, TIPP they came out with a poll, and they found that Republicans they were down with young voters 18 to 24 by 28 points. Well, ages 25 to 64 were tied, and 65 plus were up by 10 points. Republicans are winning 65 plus by 10. Well, I argued that this poll right here explains why Trump has been pandering more to older people. Now, let's be clear. I think some of the pandering he's done is stupid. I think at some point, you still got to win some young people over. But let's have a reality check. Who votes in midterms? What demographic votes in midterms? And what demographic doesn't? Older people. Older people vote in midterms. The older you get, the more likely you are to vote in general, but especially midterms. You're going to probably vote. Well, Trump is killing Democrats with old people right now, up by 10. Yes, Republicans are down with younger people, but look at that. I would argue this poll proves that Democrats have a huge problem. Because if Republicans are winning old people by 10, and the youngest demographic, which is like no voters, if that's only D plus 28 or whatever, that's not enough. That's not enough, especially if the other demographics are tied. So, with this in mind, for every old person that you win over, it's about 3 young voters to replace them. That's the math, okay? For every old voter you get, the other side needs 3 young people to make up for it. But for 18 to 24, it's like 1 for every like 6 or 7. Oh gosh. I did not mean to say that. But you get the point that older people vote. Old people vote all the time. And a midterm, that's a demographic that matters. Because you do better with young people, okay, that's good. For the future, you want to have better showings with young people. But in midterms, especially, you have to secure the old vote right away. If you don't, you're screwed. Yeah, 6, 7. I'm sorry. I did not mean to say that. But unironically, it's about 6 to 8 voters. I'm skipping that number from now on. It's between 6 to 8 young people for every old person that you need to flip. It's something somewhere in that range, could be off a little bit, but you get the point. Well, do the math. What do you think is more efficient? Try to target like 10 young people or 1 older voter. Trump's going to target the old people. And even then, like, he's still doing good stuff for young people. Just the messaging, it's clearly been tied towards older people. That's clear as day. Older people, middle-aged people, because they vote. And if this is the result where he's winning the old people by 10 points, they're going to win a blowout. That's my take. If Republicans win old people by 10, they're going to win a landslide. Because if the other demographics are tied and the very young people are Democrat plus 20, that doesn't matter. Because Republicans are absolutely demolishing Democrats with a demographic that votes all the time. Well, now I explained this, and take a guess what Barris says. He said That would be an incredibly foolish strategy based on bad polling. Republicans performed 4 points stronger among boomers in 2022 than the GOP leads in the poll now and still underperformed. Yeah, let me pull this poll up. So he's making a big deal that because Republicans are doing worse with old people compared to 2022, that's proof that the strategy is bad. Really? For starters, here's the first issue. The young vote isn't as Democrat, even in the poll that you're talking about. It's like for the very young voters that are supposed to be very Democrat, it's D plus 28. If that's the most demographic group or the most Democratic group, guess what? It gets more Republican. So really, we're talking about for 18 to 29 in that poll was probably like D plus 20 or D plus 19. Which guess what? That is a big swing compared to even 2020 or even like 2024 or roughly the same as 2024. That's what he's not mentioning. And actually, let me pull this up. Yeah, right here. If we assume Republicans are losing 18 to 29 by like 20 points or whatever, it would be worse than Trump in 2024, but still better than the Republicans showing in the generic ballot by like 5 points. And on top of that, look at 65 plus. Went from -3 to -10. Same for the older voters. Like, that's what I'm trying to get at. People need to understand that old people, they make up a large share of the vote, especially now, especially midterms. They fucking vote. If Republicans are winning old people by 10, and Democrats, they're still underperforming with young people. That's a crazy thing. He's making it sound like, oh, they're doing 30 points better. No. The youngest demographic is still voting Democrat by a big margin, but the other groups swung considerably Republican. I'm just baffled that I have to keep explaining this over and over again. Again, I'm not a fan of pandering to boomers to a certain point. The reel for 5. Rap, I'm surprised I haven't heard you talk about the embarrassment of Pam Bondi testifying to Congress. Oh, it was stupid. I even said that the stock market's comment was stupid. I think that was dumb. Before that, she wasn't doing a bad job, but yeah. Cake up for 2. Well, what about voters who are 6'7", Rap? Oh, gosh. Thank you. But yeah, just like, again, guys, this whole idea that you can only win at young people, again, you want to do better with young people. Like, I agree with that 100%. But even though we still are, technically speaking, if these polls are accurate and we're down by 28 with very young people, guess what? That is still roughly in line to what we saw in 2024, because 2024, this is including the voters are 25 to 29. You get the point. But either way, young people just don't vote in midterms, especially very young people. Like, voters are like 18 to 24, they don't vote. I can't believe I keep explaining this over and over again. Just chat. Do the math on this. If I think it's roughly 60%, 60 to 65% of voters in midterms are over the age of 50. What demographic are you going to target more? Those above the age of 50 or those below the age of 50? I wonder why. If we're doing better with older people, why are we doing worse in special elections? Well, because only Democrats vote in special elections. Because again, like, people understand, like, special elections are a different animal, even for midterms. So, outside crash the housing market, what proposals do these clowns have to get them out the vote? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. And the stuff they are proposing is nonsense, like crash the stock market. Or the crash the housing market. It's insane. I argued back in March of last year, they should have done a controlled demolition of the economy in some aspects of it, because I think the stock market, even to this day, it's bullshit. It's inflated. It's gotten better because we are seeing real progress. I'm not denying that. But yeah, it just, I don't get, like, the idea here. Like, who are you going to target first? The voters that make up 2/3 of the electorate in midterms, or the ones that make a 1/3. No shit. And even then, he's making a big point. Oh, well, Trump did better with young people. Yeah. On top of that, he did better with every age group except 65 plus. That's a fact. Every group swung to the right, especially 50 to 64. These voters are older, middle-aged voters, and they swung heavy to the right. That's why Trump won by 2 points at the popular vote. If it wasn't for that swing, it would have been like tied or whatever. If not, maybe D+1. So they kind of do with the tariffs. I mean, kind of. I mean, there was some aspects of demolition there. I get that. But I argue that if you want to really fix the economy, and their strategy is just grow us out of this situation. Like their idea is bank everything on growth and we'll win. I argue that, okay, some of these institutions are fake and you got to like bite the bullet now in early 2025, do a demolition of the economy, some aspects, not the entire economy, just some parts of it, let it go down a little bit. And at the end of the year, it'd be booming. That was my idea. And they didn't do that. They did some aspects of it, but not really. So Trump would have won the popular vote by 5. Yeah, if everyone voted, yeah, he would have won by 5. Yeah, just like I don't get the point he's trying to make here. I got the tweet right here, actually. Yeah. Trump did 1 point worse in 2024 than in 2020, still won. Because he did better with every age group, dumbass. Wow, he did better with everybody else. Wow. He won. He did better. Yeah. Every other group swung Republican, dumb shit. I'm getting so sick of this crap. It's like they're intentionally manipulative. They're lying. They're inverting reality. Hell, he lied yesterday about the TIPP poll. He was trying to discredit it. He claimed the poll found that Democrats were winning white people by 20 points. This is real, by the way. He claimed that TIPP was claiming white people are voting Democrat by 20, and that's why you should discredit it. I'm not even joking. Where is it at? Where is it? Did he delete it? Right here, I found it. He still has it up, and 23,000 people saw this. Good Lord. Guess what? Right here. If the generic ballot cannot be D+3 if Republicans lose the whites by 20. Ridiculous unless Republicans are winning non-whites. Maybe 50 points with Alaskan Native, Pacific Islanders, and Asians. Super creative, though. Thanks for laughs. So he's trying to discredit the TIPP poll because it's good for Trump and the GOP. He's trying to discredit it. He's trying to discredit the poll because he claimed they found white voters going Democrat by 20. And that's why it's fake. Well, guess what? He lied. He fucking lied. I got the poll right here. Their findings was white voters are plus 15. So he tried to he literally inverted reality. The two most likely groups to vote in midterms are old people and white voters. And guess what? They're both swinging heavy to the right now. I wonder what's going on here. Can no one see what's obviously going on? He's trying to bullshit people. This was a real poll. It was R plus 15, which should prove that Republicans are still in a solid position anyways. But he tried to claim it was D plus 20 for white voters in this poll. He tried to invert reality because he's gaslighting people. He's trying to demoralize everybody. He's lying, and people are falling for it. That's an error to Aunt Seltzer's. Yeah, it is. He was off by nearly 40 points from what they said. They said Republicans were up by 15. He claimed, no, they're actually down by 20 because he's trying to discredit good polls for Trump. It's clear as day. It's demoralization campaign. What else do you call this? How can you be so wrong by 35 to 40 points? Are you shitting me? You're telling me you messed this up this badly? Oh, shoot. Sorry about that. Yeah. It was bullshit. I mean, I did 5 minutes of research, and not even 5 minutes. I did one search on Twitter and found this. He is lying to people. Now, this is clear as day. It's a psyop. It's a demoralization campaign to amplify real criticism of Trump to the I don't know, like 10th degree or whatever, where everything he does is bad, everything good is fake. That's what's going on. Every good poll for Trump is actually fake because I made stuff up. He lied. He still has it up, and now he ignored it because the damage is already done. Now people are convinced, oh, this poll is fake because white people are not voting Democrat by 20. It's just crazy. He was off by 40 points. What does that tell you? And he keeps pushing the goalposts every single day. Did he see the Rasmussen Trump approval? Yeah, it's Daily Tracker again. Like I don't know. I think last week was a fluke. We'll see. I want to go above 50% again so I can laugh at people. Because if it reaches 50 again, it's going to break some people's minds. A lot of people are going to break from it. That's why I want it to happen. We'll see, though. We shall see. But that's a problem. Even in 2024, the young Trump voters still didn't turn out like they should have in the most important election ever. They still hope Trump win, but Zoomers could have done more. Yeah, I agree. And that's the issue. These people will not vote. And like TIPP brings up here, in 2024, old voters had a turnout of 75%. Young people, 18 to 24, was 47%. Yeah. And that's in a presidential year. In a midterm, it's twice as bad. It's not good. Not good. But yeah, that's what Trump's team's doing. Right now, they're trying to solidify the boomer vote. I'm not a fan of it, but that's if you want to win the midterms, you're not going to win based off of young people alone. You just can't. You need right now older and middle-aged people. That's how you win midterms. And then try to get younger people out to vote. Republican-leaning voters. That's what they're trying to do right now, and I like it. I think it's the best way to do it. I don't think I'm not a fan of some of the messaging, but yeah. All right. If anyone got any more super chats, any more questions, concerns, whatever, send them now. Last calls are super chats. Last calls are super chats. I think that's everything. I could be wrong. Imagine Trump had an approval rating of like 51%. Oh, if he did by the midterms, yeah, we're not gonna lose. Or we still might lose the House because the GOP sucks, but it won't be as bad of a defeat. So all right. We'll see you guys the next stream, video, or wherever you see us at. Godspeed. Too old.